talking about what's in today's menu, a Phishburger. We will go a little bit about using the Cialdini's rules of influence. I will talk about it in a minute. In a social engineering part of phishing attacks. And though right now there is certain number of technologies which help you to secure the number one attack vector still, and they are relying on anti-phishing techniques like the URL, the reputational database, the global threat intelligence. This is something which, by the way, is pretty strong with force points, so I recommend to check it out. Nevertheless, here we will be talking about what talks to the weakest link, meaning the user, and why the social engineering is still so effective. Without further ado, a little bit of reminiscence. There is a hacker. He sends you a well-crafted email with a logo, with valid content, and he urges you to click something or download something, usually to click something. A rule of thumb, generally hacker will want you to either download something or go somewhere via clicking the link. You go to a greatly designed spoofed website, which is totally not the valid website, and the sheer goal is to get your credentials, and then you get information that someone transferred savings of your life, or bought cryptocurrency for it, or generally did something bad. So, before we jump to details, all of those emails, I mean, all of the content, I will not be going over, always check the domain, always check the sender number, look for typos. Those are technicalities. From the psychological perspective, all of them, they prey on urgency and importancy. They need you to act now. They need you to act quick. It's like, oh my God, you need to do it right now. We have 5 minutes to stop this fake transactions or something. And it's important. I mean, this transaction will not be for $15 because you might skip it. It will be for 5,000 or 1,000 or 50,000. I wish you all that the only kind of phishing you will have to, defend yourself from is that someone tries to take 50,000 out of your accounts. Why? Because it means you have it. But remember, they want you to act now. They want you to lose your composure. And they additionally want you to lose your composure because it is important, because there will be consequences to this decision. And this is why you take a deep breath. And by the way, I learned so much from people that doesn't exist. And here is one in great John Wick. Take your time to reply. I mean, first of all, take a deep breath, as Navy SEAL says. When you control your breath, then you can control anything. It's about chemistry. You get more oxygen into lungs, then into your brain. Your brain can work better, so it's better to think. Now that's the tough part, think. And then don't reply. Don't click. I mean, if you need to reply, write, oh, why you're sending me this thing, but don't click. Usually this is what phishing email is about and how you differ it from a normal email. They want you to click something. They don't want you to respond. They want you to go somewhere. And they use this aforementioned 6 rules of influence to make you click. Now, 6 rules of influence. They were maybe not invented. They were described by Roberto Cialdini in, I believe, somewhere in 60s. And those are, right now there are 7. There's one Unity. I will not be covering it because it requires a lot of, let's say, build up. There are 6, which I will be talking about. Reciprocity, I will use an example of Anubis, a great anteater from my favorite series, Kingdom Hospital by Stephen King. He has this saying, you do me a solid, I do you a solid. So basically, you want me, I do something for you, you will do something for me. And people, like good people, naturally feel this urge to return a favor. You do, right? The authority. We were taught to obey authority since young age. I mean, listen to your teacher, listen to Mr. Policeman, listen to your parents, listen to government, to law enforcement, to doctor, to lawyer, to anyone who is somehow socially approved, which we will go in a second. That's why this is embedded in us. The social proof. Everyone has it, everyone knows it, everyone like follows it. It should be good, right? It shouldn't be harmful. Like people do it, people follow. Commitment and consistency. You remember those scene also from mentioned before John Wick with a pencil? Now, John Wick is a man of sheer will and commitment. And this is preying on commitment. Basically, if you do something, if you say something that you will do something, or you claim you are that kind of person, you will usually act as the person you say you are, or you will keep your word and do what you said you will do. So that's the commitment part. And people try to use it. They know you are, for example, always helping people in need. So they will craft an email to click on some kind of charity fund to help people in need, because that's what you do. That's what you say you do, right? The liking and sympathy, we seem to be, generally we help people we like. We involve ourselves in actions for the people we like, and this can get exploited pretty easily. And if this is someone close to you, the emotional burden this message can put on you can be significant. Scarcity. If there is not much of something, it's wanted. Whether it's you playing a match on basketball with people from NBA, winning a boxing match with Canelo Alvarez. It's cars, right? Good job, Bevel, by the way. Or it is a brand new iPhone 15, which is not even planned, I believe, but it's there for you in a great price. Or there is a last course in Harvard, which you can buy for $100 because, oh my God, you're so lucky we chose a new. This is how they prey on scarcity. And we will go one by one on those. The reciprocity. It usually goes like, we did something for you. The most known example is we blocked a suspicious activity. We blocked a suspicious transaction. Now, we want you to click to confirm or to block it, or for us to keep blocking it. Now, okay, I had this kind of situation recently with my bank. They just told me, okay, we seen a suspected transaction. It was mine, by the way. Please reply yes to this SMS. Please reply yes to this email. Don't click something, don't go nowhere, don't download something. Just reply. So reciprocity, it's about, they did something for you. Usually they saved you for something, but they need you to act. And usually, yes, you need to act, but not via clicking something, just by reply. And believe me, if it is like the matter of life and death, someone will call you or someone will come to you. Or if it's like reasonably problematic for you, you can always call them. It's a good people. I think in era of instant messengers, we forgot that calling usually solves the problem quicker. Going further, the authority, like I mentioned, we'll learn to obey. So it will start with a great logo, with a well-spoofed domain, probably using some typo squatting. But if you see a logo of National Security Department, people rarely choose like, oh, what domain, what's the user. They will just say, oh my God, they want something from me, right? There are many known phishing campaigns using the police, which has detected that you have some pirate content or illegal content, or you're involved in some illegal transactions, etc. Probably they caught some people who actually are. They were afraid, but nevertheless, it's a phishing campaign. And this can be a vendor, well-known vendor, a Microsoft, Amazon, Netflix, that they want something from you. Generally, the message, unless it's a spear phishing, will be very general. Dear user, blah, blah, blah. And they will, of course, request you to click something. For any kind of officials, believe me, they will call you if they will need something from you, or they will come to you. For the vendors, it's always best to check with the vendor. Now, what I said on one of the previous slides, deep breath, think, and reply, not click. I mean, reply to a vendor. Okay, dear Outlook, just kidding. Dear Microsoft, what you want from me? If there is a conversation going, this means it's either more tailored phishing. I mean, the campaign is well designed, but they will still want you to click something, or it's actually not a phish. Social proof. The social proof is basically proving the credibility by some kind of either community or knowledge about community, something socially acceptable. So we have two examples. One is the phishing the influencers by Instagram. And those Instagram phishing accounts, they have a lot of followers, they are purchased. They are not so expensive, by the way. It's not so expensive to purchase the followers. It can be a LinkedIn account with friends, with interests. I mean, those are mostly, like spear phishing attempts when they write directly to you with your name, with your details. And see the other example, a mail from Laura. I mean, Laura is addressing the guy, hi Andrew, pretty casually. She's mentioning an event which they are, I mean, presumably this company is taking part in. She mentions that she mentions a friend's name, details that they might, that might be known only to the people from their company. So it's kind of, she proves herself to be a person from the environment. It's still something, I mean, this one is extremely hard to avoid. How to say, keep your eyes all around your head. And remember that sometimes if you don't know someone and he wants to offer you something or he wants something from you, a multi-factor authentication, like a real-life multi-factor authentication, is the best. So speaking of Laura, I just spoke with Ravi. I mean, I would call Ravi. Ravi, they just spoke to Laura, and I don't recognize her from my company. It's okay. And Ravi would be like, no, it's not. I don't know Lauren, so don't do it. Think. And the commitment. Now, the commitment, I mean, this is, for me, it's the baddest because they are preying usually on, I mean, they are exploiting something which people do out of good heart, and this is mostly charity. So, people tend to support charity. This is their commitment, and they are more or less saying this, I supported this cause, I supported this cause. They say it in the comments on social media. They have it in their likes on Facebook. They follow the pages on Instagram. So it's relatively know what the person is committed to. And then you have an email, okay, we have this new action. And unfortunately, there are always tragedies in the world which can be taken advantage of by those kind of people, which is very sad, but very true. And then you, of course, get a link to click. Honest advice, if you get something like that really, really, rings with your heart, just go to their website and make a donation. Check if there's an SSL certificate. Check if this is the right website. Maybe call someone on what kind of donation they would like to see, just to make sure, and then make a donation. This is something I can recommend. On the other hand, there is the gentleman. I hope he will not chase me for condemning him and showing him on this presentation, but this seems to be some kind of known online dating fraudster, which lures women into a conversations, keep their online relationships, and then ask for some kind of money, or send some link. I don't know what for. Generally, if you're in an online relationship and people requires you to send them money, make some kind of donation without even seeing face to face, maybe they are not so into it. I mean, just a thought, right? Or if they require you to click something up front, that's also maybe not a good idea. I mean, just honestly, just meet with them first. Just meet with them first, exchange number, maybe call them, maybe talk a little bit. That would surely keep you safer. And yeah, that's, I think, the most valid security factor there is. And with this, we goes to liking and sympathy. I mean, I put it together because it doesn't necessarily have to be someone you like. I mean, there are this kind of, you can call it spoofing, but it's actually someone taking a new number, creating email similar to you and trying to cheat your close ones. Like, hey, mom, it's me. I need an urgent payment for my school. Here is the link. Can you do it? My professor is asking to do it today, etc. Very sadly, it's the old people who get tricked on this one. For example, in Poland, there are people pretending to be your grandson, calling you, sending someone for money. It's your close ones. I mean, there's always a reason to call them. So call them and validate. True story. The other part is the sympathy part. That's why I put sympathy in the brackets. It's they prey upon something you feel towards, like feel sympathy, empathy towards. Like the example of, oh my God, I've been robbed. Or more serious example, for example, I am being detained on a border. I have 3 children with me and I need your help. Yeah, they are detained on a border and they are writing emails to some random people. Like, come on. There are organizations for that. There are bodies for that. There are volunteers who do that. There is extremely small chance you will be contacted directly by that person. If so, you will be contacted by this organization. And then we go to the part of commitment where you will go to some charity-related scam with a phishing email. Anyway, no one will ask you to help them get from a very tough personal situation by clicking a link. I mean, they will at least try to give you more of a background. They will seek more of an engagement. So these very generic messages, and they are simply fake. I think my favorite example was when I got this email that, oh, you're the only the only one able to get this heritage. It's millions of dollars. I was designated to guard it, but now I'm in a bad situation, so I need you to claim this millions of dollars and share with me something. Just click here to start the legal procedure. Maybe not. And the scarcity. This is something I mentioned. Everyone has hopes, dreams, something they want to fulfill, and they want a chance to have it. Usually it's something scarce. Usually it's something that will not come easily. But here comes the new iPhone 15 plated with gold that Apple is secretly already designed and they want you to have it. Or there is last signed book by Fitzgerald or by Stanislav Lem or by Stephen King. Okay, books in modern world, maybe not the best example. There is new Lamborghini, which we selected you to have it for $1,000. Something like this. Or you're just being nominated to be one of the greatest CFOs. Just click here to confirm the registration with your bank credentials, because we need it for validity. I mean, those are an example. Usually, when something is too good to be true, it's not true. And with this, I would like to briefly recap on what we told about. the rules of influence. Each of them gets you from different angles. You know, it's like boxing. If you cannot, hit from this angle, you change the angles, you change the angles. At one point, you will get the shot. The importance and urgency, preying on it, underlining it, it will give the additional emotional strain, which helps the rules of influence to work. And it is all based off emotions. I mean, social engineering is based off emotions. That is why it's so effective. That is why the technologies, only by themselves, not supported by user awareness, will at one moment fail. And if you see those, I mean, if you recognize the rule of influence, if they want you to do it now, and if you don't do it, there will be sheer consequences, and you feel these emotions building in your heart, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. And do you know what to do? Because, it's something you hope for. So you care about it. That's why you need to hope for the best, prepare for the worst. This quote I got from, I think, some CIA training materials. I actually very much love it. Or from TV series like X-Files, like I mentioned. I learned very, very much from people who actually don't exist. Here's to Mulder and Scully. Let's sum up with something from person who actually do exist. And this is pretty smart because I told you the best and, let's say, most useful defense is thinking. And with this, in the end, you have to protect yourself at all times. I mean, Floyd Mayweather, right? The genius of defense in boxing. Here, in the phishing, in the cyber world, you don't have to keep your guard up, but you do have to protect yourself at all times. And with this, I strongly invite you to another episode, which will be egg versus chicken dilemma. Shall we first classify data, trusting the data creator that he will classify it the right way? Or shall we enforce some policies, maybe on classification, by some centralized system like data loss prevention? Well, small product location, right? And it will take place on 11/11. It will be also the National Independence Day in Poland. I'm wishing all the best to people celebrating it, to Poles all over the world. Respect. And all the best to all the others. Have a great weekend, great day, and generally, don't get yourself fished, because Phishburger, it might get you a little sick. All the best.